I'm saying? But right now, I'm in deep thought, you feel me? I'm about to go on a very respected independent news, you know what I'm saying, network. And they asked me about some comments that I had in my comment section, specifically when I came to posting this picture of Beyonce talking about reproductive freedom, you know what I'm saying, and me being there here and talk about it. And somebody in the comment section, like, she said that, you know, representation politics is gonna be like the death of all of us. We gotta dream bigger than, you know, a black woman committing genocide. And you know what I'm saying, shit, the news people ask me, like, you know, hey, what's your response to that, basically? My response is like, yeah, black faces in high spaces is not enough for liberation and progress. And you know, if Kamala Harris lose, I think that, you know, a big reason that she'll lose is because she was unwilling to materially do something about Palestinians, you know what I'm saying, and just, you know, go past the material gestures, you know what I'm saying? I mean, going past these symbolic gestures of saying you're working endlessly and tirelessly to get a ceasefire, but it's all about the hostages. But Netanyahu is literally denying all the hostage deals, right? What I said though is that I do think that we have to be critical of the presidency position, because I believe the presidency position to me is inherently genocidal. You feel me? But just because a black woman is going to, you know what I'm saying, occupy that position, it don't mean that we don't be critical of her. I went on to say, like, shit, I believe we should criticize and be critical of Kamala Harris every step of the way, and no matter what she's doing, no matter who's in office, when it comes to, you know, funding Israel. But it's not just the Kamala Harris thing, you feel me? The genocide been going on since, you feel me, over 80 years, you know what I'm saying? Well, about 80 years, almost 80 years, since President Truman time. And because the whole entire government is complicit in genocide, what I wanted to say, because I was texting it out, is that I do think that we can be critical, though, of how, you know, when we talk about the federal government funding genocide of Israel right now, you know, Kamala Harris is basically bearing the brunt of what it looks like to carry the empire of America and carry the colonial violence of America. I think that we can be critical of that, we can criticize it, but I don't think that it makes her immune from being like, you know, far too many Palestinians have passed away, and I believe Israel has the right to defend itself, and we're gonna this, that, and the other. And it's like, hey, what you're saying is that Israel, what you're glossing over is that Israel defending itself is what is causing the quote unquote far too many Palestinian deaths. And the question becomes too, like, how many would have been too many? Because you're saying it's too many, so was that what number would have been appropriate? But also, just like, I think that it's like the last thing I texted, we should be critical and criticize Kamala Harris every step of the way when it comes to her defending how we fund Israel, you know what I mean? But when it comes to this election, it's more than genocide on that ballot. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's like, I know I've been trying to refrain from just really going all over there, but I could come saying, I know so many people are gonna disagree, and so I'm saying this, that, and the other. But what I realize is that being an intersectional brother like I am, it make it where I'm always already hearing the critiques and criticisms when I'm being pro-Palestine at the DNC, and people feel like I should be doing more for black women's reproduction, and feel like I should be doing more and thinking more about, you feel me, police immunity, you feel me, and shit, when I'm, you know what I'm saying, thinking about reproduction, thinking about police, thinking about, you know what I'm saying, shit, what different presidents say they're gonna do for black Americans, or how black Americans is facing disproportionate, you know what I'm saying, oppression, politically, socioeconomically. I'm thinking about that when I'm doing that shit. People being like, hey, how can you support somebody that does genocide? How can you support somebody? And it's like, for me, it's like, I'm thinking about the policies, not the politicians, because for me, it's like, shit, I believe all this shit genocidal, right? And I believe, like, how I was raised is that all politicians is full of shit. And 9 times out of 10, they ain't gonna do what they said they're gonna do. But you gotta try to pick the one that's gonna be able to get the policies the way you think it is, to be able to mitigate the harm in your life. You feel me? That's how I've been educated to think about this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much what I'm doing. And to me, it's like, because you support a person, or because you think a person, you feel me, is best fit for the position, it don't make them immune to criticism. I feel like one of the things that the rest of America has decided that we agree on is that as non-Trump supporters, we think it is weird when Trump supporters are able to always already support Trump without being critical of what he's doing, or without criticizing him, without critiquing him, without being like, I disagree with that. You see what I'm saying? And I think that shit, if you think that Kamala Harris is better fit for the position than Donald Trump, it don't make it where it's like, because it's close to the election, I'm not gonna think about or not gonna talk about on my platform how I think that she might throw this election in different instances because she She want to show her loyalty to Israel in most instances. Then she want to prove she want to win by being able to really meet the constituents of like Michigan or Michigan or Pennsylvania to be able to get them votes. You feel me? So for me, it's like putting the onus on the constituents and being like, well, if she lose, it's y'all fault. It's like, to me, I don't think that's how politics work. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot of us getting caught up in like celebrity worship and believing that politicians, like I say, are your mamas, or believing that, you know what I'm saying, they are aunties, or believing like that these celebrities are idols, you feel me? And as a result, you forget they public servants. You forget that they making a responsibility to you and not the other way around. And them making a responsibility to you and wanting a responsibility for you and from you means they got to make some promises to you. And what I know is that you have the most leverage politically on any candidate and on any politician, quote unquote, before you vote for them. Because once they get in the position and they able to curate the policies, they no longer care about what you care about, really. You know what I'm saying? So the idea that we can push a person more left or push a person more right, in this instance I'm talking about, guys, I'm a leftist, you know what I'm saying? So shit, thinking we can push a person more left, I don't think that's true. You feel me? So anytime I start talking about Palestine, Israel in relationship to the Harris-Biden administration, shit, everybody that believe that that's unproductive, or believe that, you feel me, we got to take care of ourselves first, or believe that we got to worry about domestic issues first, or believe that, you know what I'm saying, Kamala Harris don't have the power as VP to be able to overturn foreign policy. You know what I'm saying? I hear all those criticisms, and I disagree with them. You see what I'm saying? There are some critics in those like, yeah, does Kamala Harris have the ability to really impact, you know what I'm saying, foreign policy right now as VP? No. But does she have the ability to make some positions as the candidate presidency? Yes. You see what I'm saying? So it's always, for me, a caveat of nuance where I disagree with what's going on. You feel me? And it's just like shit, when the whole black versus Palestine people, shit, black people being like, hey, they talking about locking us up. You feel me? They talking about teaching our kids slavery was good. They talking about locking up more black women, denying them, you know what I'm saying, productive health care. And y'all saying shit, y'all this genocidal. And if you said you was free Palestine, but now you saying you think Kamala Harris is good for president because she genocidal, you don't really support Palestine, therefore take that shit out your thing. And for me, it's like, hey, if you can't walk and chew gum at the same time, for me, it's like I don't have to do with that. And for me, it's like I'm the master of my own destiny, and I move to the beat of my own drums. And I know, you know what I'm saying, growing up as a youngster in my small town, as homecoming king, prom king, class president, that there was always gonna be a move that's gonna piss somebody off. As a debater in college, I learned that shit, most of the time, it's like, hey, even though I don't have the energy to do it as I did a few years ago, before I post something or say something, do I have the ability to defend that in the debate? Do I have the ability to mean what I say what I mean, and really be able to, you know what I'm saying, defend, like back it up? And if I can, usually 9 times out of 10, then I go on to defend the shit, you know what I'm saying? And right now, what I'm saying is like, hey, listen, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, all of them genocidal. All of them are invested in American empire and expanding, you feel me, it's imperial territories. Being able to control the natural resources of different countries throughout the world by being able to destabilize them and put a whole bunch of American corporations and American military, you know what I'm saying, different type shit over there to be able to do what they want to do and get what they want to get. And what I know about the nature of being the president is that when you're the commander-in-chief of America, shit, you got to run the colony. You feel me? And even though, you know what I'm saying, folks think we live in a post-colonial world, make no mistake, America is a colony that looks to always seek and control and expand its colony. So when you sign up to be president of the United States, God damn it, you signing up to be the commander-in-chief of the colony. And what I know is that, I want to be clear, I'm not saying colonialism is good. I'm not saying that because America is a colony, you got to agree with colonialism and you got to just go with it. What I'm saying is that because America as a colony exists, regardless of who runs and who's the president of the colony empire, imperialism gonna do what it's gonna do. And American government gonna do what it's gonna do. You see what I'm saying? And what I know is a black person lived in America, whether it's Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, I know that black people are gonna be disproportionately impacted based off the laws and legislation they pass in the country. And what I know is that whether I vote or not, The person that's gonna be in executive and judicial and like literally the branch of government will continue to run business as usual. And what I know is that if the law, right now I'm driving, if police pull me over right now, you feel me, and say, hey man, Mr. Lee, you doing something, you're on a business, like, hey, I tell them, man, I live in Texas. I didn't vote I didn't vote in the Texas election. Therefore, leave me alone, and I don't have to be held accountable for the laws. Because like that, to me, it's like I don't know symbolically what a person getting at when they say they not voting. And you get it. I'm 33 years old. My first time I ever voted was 2020. You know what I'm saying? First time I ever voted for 2020. I had an opportunity to vote for Barack Obama, but I was so radical at that time it felt like voting didn't do shit that I wasn't worried about it. It wasn't until I got older and had kids and started, you know what I'm saying, being a professor and shit, and started actually in grad school is what happened. In grad school, you know what I'm saying, it's the day after the election. You know, I'm going to this class about I think it's mental health philosophies or some shit like that. We're going over like different types of therapy, you feel me? We in grad school. I never forget this. It's like three or four, it was like 3 or 4, you feel me, like, you know what I'm saying, international students, you feel me, that I really rocked with, you know what I'm saying, shit, 2 of them I knew since undergrad, you know what I mean, and shit, they came to class crying and shit, you know what I'm saying, and shit, we hit, like, because people were so shocked by Trump's presidency, we got in, like, shit, like that day's curriculum was pretty much hijacked by what was everybody on everybody's mind, so shit, they started talking about how they had been saving up for 4 years, you feel me? 3 to 5 years to be able to go back home for Thanksgiving and or Christmas to be able to see their family, you know what I'm saying? Shit, 2 of them was Muslim, coming from Muslim countries. Shit, they talk about and they crying how they can't go home because they go home, they so close to being able to finish their degree, they ain't gonna be able to come back because Trump finna do a Muslim ban. You feel me? Okay, boom, it's the first thing right there. I'm like, damn, I know these people. Like, I fuck with these people. You know what I'm saying? I feel they pain and they hurt, you feel me? And I feel they desperation of recognizing that where they pay taxes at, where they been going to school at the University of Oklahoma just with me, you feel me? We sitting in class together, and I understood the implications on the election was different for them. And for me, being a person, it's like, for me, it's like, hey, shit, power to the people, you know what I'm saying? For y'all oppressed people type shit. I'm sitting here looking at as an oppressed person, looking at another oppressed person and recognizing the implications on their life for them. You feel me? Shit, we oh shit. As a matter of fact, I ain't gotta fast forward yet till we get to the Supreme Court holders. I ain't gotta get to that yet. Shit, you know, because at that time, I'm a debate coach. I'm paying attention and really keeping up on politics, specifically when it comes to the impact of when a candidate or when a politician comes to an area. So when I'm reading reports that 200% of violence increase after Trump goes somewhere and do a rally, I'm already seeing that. I'm feeling that. You feel me? I'm seeing that. I'm feeling that. You know, shit, I didn't vote in 2016. I ain't really just get hit in the face, slapped in the face with the consequences of the 2016 election until Biden was in office because Donald Trump was able to appoint all the Supreme Court justices, right? So when Roe v. Wade, you know what I'm saying, the Dobbs decision come out, you feel me? First of all, these folks then use the Brown versus Board of Education talking about, you know what I'm saying, basically pro-lifers not being able to do what they want to do, how they want to do. It's like black people, you know what I'm saying, experience segregation. That shit crazy. You see what I'm saying? But shit, how they do it is, you know what I'm saying, and what go down is, it's like, I'm not seeing the consequences of what happened in the 2016 election until like 2021 when Supreme Court is now overstacked Republican and shit. They really like hand-picked Heritage Foundation, Federalist people, you know what I'm saying, like what they call it, the Federalist Association, some shit like that from the Yale law school or some shit. I went there and found out about it. It's like, when I'm seeing that, you feel me, it's like, I'm like, damn. Okay, at the time, I'm a diversity, equity, inclusion professional. I'm teaching about implicit bias, microaggressions, you feel me, white supremacy, anti-blackness. Of course, I'm pushing the lines, you feel me, when it comes to diversity, equity, inclusion. I'm really doing deconstruction work and shit, but I said it from the line, right? When Donald Trump and Donald Trump appointed people started criminalizing diversity, equity, and inclusion and started making it where, as a matter of fact, at the time, I'm a 9th and 10th grade English teacher in Oklahoma City. You feel me? Kevin Stitt trying to compete with goddamn Oklahoma and Texas passing all this crazy legislation. Not only is they passing, I'm talking about hella anti-trans bills against kids. Now listen, I love to care about black people, right? What I know is that black queer kids black kids that's trying to figure out their gender and shit, those be the kids that be the highest demographic when it comes to facing, like, you feel me, unaliving themselves. You feel me? When it comes to depression, when it comes to anxiety, and I care about the black experience, I care about how black people position, right? So I'm thinking about how, into recognizing that anytime a law passed, I wholeheartedly believe that typically black people gonna be disproportionately impacted because black people make up, we a part of every identity. You wanna talk about disabled people? It's black disabled people. You wanna talk about trans people? It's black trans people. You wanna talk about, you know what I'm saying, shit, black intersex people? It's black intersex people. You want to talk about shit, black poor people, it's black poor people. It's like anytime you want to talk about a way in which people live their lives, black people occupy space over there, right? So when he started passing all these anti-trans bills and shit, I'm already thinking disproportionately, like, damn, it's gonna be a lot of black trans women, a lot of black trans men, black trans girls, black trans boys. It's gonna be out of there for that. And I'm knowing people thinking like, nah, that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Well, I know it's a lot of folks right now agreeing with Trump. Like, he want to defend the family because Democrats trying to reshape the family. They want to send your son to school at Sam and they come back at Samantha. And it's like, y'all don't recognize that they are purposely targeting education to keep y'all dumb and stupid. And that's the reason why you making such a bad argument about gender affirming care, and you believe that we got children being able to have gender affirming care, and that's just not how that shit work. You feel me? Back to the point though, right? Once me as a DEI professional start seeing how they criminalizing my profession and how people losing their jobs and their livelihoods, I'm trying to think about it. When George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor was on people's minds, man, all the white corporations and companies was trying to prove they was good whites. White guilt was kicking in and it was leading to positions for black people, right? So shit, they had all type of DEI presidents and DEI executives come out for all type of companies. Trump and them started criminalizing this shit. I'm talking about people that got monumental jobs to pay I'm talking about to feed themselves, to pay their bills, to feed their children, to put food on the table. They lost them jobs because Donald Trump and them said they target white people. Okay, go back to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court overturned affirmative action. We can talk about how, you feel me, studies say that, you know, white women was the biggest beneficiaries of, you feel me, affirmative action, and that's cool. But we can't deny that there were a lot of black people that also benefited from affirmative action, because it's not we wasn't unqualified to get the positions. It was that our qualifications didn't even matter because our skin color mattered so much. That's how they dictated the value of our qualifications. So it wasn't that affirmative action made it where we gonna find a whole bunch of unqualified Negroes and it's giving them positions over more qualified people. It's like, nah, there's a legacy in this country of denying qualified people access to positions and institutions. And even though they are qualified, we don't give them positions and to give them opportunities because they black, because they woman, because they gay, because they trans. We're talking about black people right now though, right? So it's like, shit, once they overturn affirmative action, it's like, hey, affirmative action gave a lot of black people access to upper mobility because now you have opportunity to go to higher education, and now this is what's giving you different jobs and shit, right? So them overturning affirmative action is going to impact not only education, it's also going to impact a whole bunch of job fields, because that's how a lot of black people was getting the job fields, right? And for me, it's like, now, can we be critical of college and how in some instances they be bullshitting and overcharging people for knowledge we should be able to get? Yeah. But can we also talk about how college became a vehicle for a lot of black people in this country to experience upper mobility? And that's why they don't want to give us student loan debt forgiven, because they know that black people, we had to take a lot of the loans. So they know that if they give loan forgiveness, that we're going to be some people that really benefit from the loans more than other demographics, because we're the people that had to take the loans. We had generational wealth. I'm a first generation college student. When I was in college, goddamn, my mama and my dad was locked up in the penitentiary. You feel me? I didn't have no parents to be able, I ain't have no safety net to fall back on. It was me. I had to get out there and grind and bust my ass to get the degrees, because I know that if I failed and flunked out, I sit back to the hood, I ain't had nowhere to go on. So I had to take loans, subsidized. You feel me? Institution loans. You feel me? Looking for grants, but I had to get them loans. I didn't want to go. I did not want to return to fucking eating, sleep for dinner and thinking about what I had to grow up in. And I now got kids. I knew I made a pledge to myself as a youngster that I was not going to raise my kids how I was raised, in terms of the environment, in terms of the survival tactics. I want them to be able to learn how to thrive and not always be stuck in survival mode, right? So shit, overturning affirmative action by Supreme Court, that made it where a lot of black people gonna be stuck in, you know what I'm saying, shit, survival mode. And that's bad. That's bad. And it's like, shit, it's like, Once we get to the Chevron difference, the difference, you feel me? Them being able to overturn, us having agencies to be able to oversight different, like for instance, the EPA, the Environment Protection Agency, when they overturn Chevron difference, this make it where Supreme Court can take a whole bunch of, you feel me, bribe money from goddamn some crazy ass industry and get away with what they getting away with because we don't have that restructure. We don't have the infrastructure. What demographic is most impacted by hazardous dumping? By climate change, by CO2 emissions, by factories and plants being placed in our neighborhoods. So when it comes to thinking about climate change and global warming and CO2 emissions, black people are already experiencing and bearing the brunt of that shit right now. We already being moved out of our homes and moved out of our areas right now. You feel me? So it's like, that's 3 things Supreme Court overturned because Donald Trump put these people in office. If Donald Trump get back in the office, he's staying to be able to appoint about 2 or 3 more Supreme Court justices. Now that means that when I'm dead and gone, my grandchildren have to literally bear the brunt of what happened in 2024 because he was able to do what he did. As a black person, one of my degrees, right? Not only as a black person, but as an educator, as an academic, my first degree, my undergrad degree, was in African American studies. You feel me? I'm born and raised in Texas, you know, and I already had a particular proximity to, I feel like, the struggle and a particular proximity into like white supremacy and like the black experience. I was born and raised and very, very close to where my ancestors worked the plantation at. You feel me? I'm from Bryan, born and raised in Bryan, Texas. You feel me? So when it comes to thinking about the position that black folks have been put in every single election, there's never been any election where black people got to get a good politician. Every politician that black people, since we've been able to vote, every politician has always been genocidal, anti-black, ableist, fatphobic, transphobic. But we have to figure out how to, you know what I'm saying, shit, put the person in a position to be able to mitigate our lives the best as possible. To me, I think about it metaphorically like this, right? Metaphorically, you get the opportunity this year to pick your fascist slave master. Now, some people gonna be like, but I don't want, but like, you hear yourself though? You saying they fascist slave masters. Yeah, I do hear myself. They fascist slave masters. Both of them is fascist slave masters. Democrats, Republicans, whoever they nominate, they have to be able to personify how to master being a fascist slave master. You feel me? That's the nature of America, man. You gotta choose, you feel me, the one that you gotta just choose. You gotta choose and make no mistake. You not choosing does not mean you're gonna be held to the wrath of a fascist slave master. Somebody is gonna have to run the plantation. If you think about it metaphorically, because I know somebody want to play this clip, consciously George Lee want to run for office, and they play a clip like Conscious Lee said all this shit fascist. Like, yeah, I do believe that though. That's probably why I never be able to run for office. You feel me? I know shit, APAC gonna shit dump $10 million to make sure my black ass don't get into nothing because I would think free Palestine. You feel me? And what I know is that America don't have to dictate and have an imperialist hegemonic presence in the Middle East to be able to ensure global security. I don't have to buy into those securitization narratives that says that we gotta fear the brown people because, you feel me, if they have nuclear weapons or if they are able to do anything, then the world gonna fall to shit. I don't believe that. I have a different understanding of international relations, but I know because of that, there are gonna be different people that have no interest in putting me in position to be able to influence policy. You know? Back to my rant though. I think you get to decide between like, hey, this slave master gonna whoop that ass 5 days a week. This slave master gonna whoop that ass 3 days a week. You know what I'm saying? This slave master is gonna teach you that slave master. This slave master is gonna teach you that goddamn shit. They are a benevolent slave master that's trying to do good for you. You know, this one gonna give you health care and this one gonna lock you up for health care. This one gonna sick the American police on you and sick the military on you as an American citizen. And this one right here, you feel me, is gonna just do it to people internationally. That's like literally what we got. That's to me, that's what we got to decide between. Like Kamala Harris and Democratic Party, they gonna terrorize just as they've been always terrorizing. That's the reason why we got a two-party system. They can keep it close-knit. They can keep it close-knit and make sure that when you get into the position and they pass you a little black book, all the shit you thought you was gonna be on, in order for you to hold this position down, here go this little black book. Confidential information. We can't tell you this part type shit. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm knowing how it go. You feel me? That's what they're gonna do. And it's just like, hey, whether you vote or not, you have to abide by the laws that these politicians gonna influence and pass or reject the reform. Whether you vote or not, you gotta pay your bills. And whether you vote or not, you wanna be on YouTube to like and subscribe to the Conscious Lee channel, but you know that the way that you exist on YouTube is gonna be literally dictated by laws and policies. So even the most radicalist of the radicalists, of the leftists, of the, you feel me? And don't get me wrong, I consider myself a leftist and a radical. But what I've learned through this whole ordeal is that I'm not as radical and as left as shit I thought I was in certain instances. And shit, in my mind right now, it's like shit, in certain instances, I don't think that, I think that you are, I feel like sometimes, some leftists get lost in the sauce of symbolic gestures. You feel me? And you so lost in the sauce of symbolic gestures, you forgetting that this material world around your ass gonna keep on spinning. So being like, shit, why you ain't saying that about Jill Stein? Why you ain't vote for Jill Stein? Jill Stein told you she want 5% of the vote. She want 5% of the vote to be able to get funding. Funding from the same federal government that's gonna fund genocide. What you think is gonna be tied to when she get that 5% of the vote she looking for, and she start receiving federal funds? What type of restrictions do you think they're gonna place on that? You know what I'm saying, on that money they give her? And you a goddamn fool if you don't think that receiving federal funds to be able to run for president don't mean you have to conform to some federal ideology like imperialism, like American hegemony, like American leadership, like American imperialism. You feel me? So for me, it's like shit. As a black person, my mama and my daddy and my grandma, you feel me, that's happy to be able to get affordable insulin, and Donald Trump trying to overturn that shit and make it where my grandma can't get affordable insulin. I can't wait for you to get 5% of the vote for you to get federal funding to make it where you hopefully can be able to run a little bit longer next election. My grandma, you feel me, she just turned 71. She might not live to the next election. I don't have time to make symbolic gestures. You see what I'm saying? It's just like, for instance, go back to Palestine and Israel. If Donald Trump wins, what's our strategy for advocating for the ceasefire and the weapons embargo if he's already showing he's unwilling to listen to us, and he already saying he want to finish the job, and he already saying he want to sick the American military on the enemy within? Meaning, if you believe in free Palestine in any way, shape, or fashion, he already say you Hamas. He already has said, hey, you being critical and you saying you anti-Zionist, you anti-Semitic. They literally passed a law like that. You feel me? Shit, they gonna stick the military on you. Then as a black person, I'm already knowing we disproportionately getting killed by police. Donald Trump want to give him qualified immunity. Think about how much the world changed when the world seen Derek Chauvin go to jail. It wasn't just super changed like niggas ain't getting killed by the police no more, but there was a lot of material and symbolic shit that came out of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd. And a lot of that had to do with being able to prosecute, you feel me, and being able to get due process of, you know what I'm saying, what we need to get that justice. Donald Trump want to make it where it never existed. Now somebody got to be the president. Whether I believe American is imperialist, you know what I'm saying, whether I believe America is a settler colonial state that's built on, you know what I'm saying, stolen property and on the backs of slaves, that don't negate that somebody has to be in that office. And when they pass laws, how I feed my family, how we take care of ourselves, how we relate to each other, how we're taught, how we teach our kids, who pays more taxes, how we breathe fresh air, how we drink clean water, that shit all gonna be impacted no matter whether you vote or not. My mind is to try to influence what I think is the best outcome given what I get to get with. You feel me? And it's just like, hey, this Kamala Harris had blood on her hands. Fucking right. Every time she say, this all starts on October 7th, that shit pissed me off. I'm talking about, pissed me off to the point where it's like, hey, you saying and like you doing that and saying that would be like saying some particular thing, some particular attack that indigenous Native Americans had on American settlers 80 years after they was already occupying and stole the land of America is where we gonna start at, and we not gonna start at, you feel me, shit, Plymouth Rock. We not gonna start at when the violence started them, you feel me? So it's just like shit, like what? I made many videos that show. The crazy part about it, a headline from October 6th, 2023 already showed that a lot of different humanitarian organizations were saying that 2023 was on par for the bloodiest year for Palestinian children. This is before October 7th. Palestinians didn't just start getting blistered on and getting their land stolen and then starting getting, you feel me, attacked like this. That shit didn't start on October 7th. The Balfour Declaration was like 1918, 1914 or some shit like that. You feel me? And for me, when I think about that, it's like, hey, if America supposed to be freedom of church and state, how are you supporting the ethno-religious state? How? If you tell them, and it's my beef right here with the Democratic Party, you feel me? Anytime I go to an event, they know what it is with consciously. How is y'all telling Americans that when it comes to Donald Trump, nobody above the law? Got this many damn felonies, take his ass to jail, nobody above the law. But then we support Netanyahu in Israel that's literally broken so many international laws and are breaking American laws. So if nobody is above the law, why don't that stand for, you feel me, how we support our international interests? And Netanyahu, and it literally, I'm talking about, if you go look at what the ICJ, the International Court of Justice said, that Israel didn't broke so many international laws, along with having illegal settlements. You feel me? So it's not that like some people watching this video right now, they're like, man, conscious man, I hear what you're saying, but like I think that the Israel-Palestine shit is overshadowing what's going on in America. We gotta worry about what's going on in America first. It's like, hey, listen, when they able to tell us that in America that we gotta vote for student loan forgiveness and we gotta vote for healthcare, and Israel able to get billions of dollars, and those billions of dollars is able to make sure they can defend themselves, quote unquote, and bomb where they want to bomb, Lebanon with pagers, or do what they want to do. They can get their citizens free healthcare or get them free education, and we got to fight in America tooth and nail with ours, and they send our tax dollars over there. You tell them to worry about us first. You know what I'm saying? Or just like, man, I forgot what I was saying, man. He's really just going there, man. But just this election right here, I can't wait for it to be over. But I definitely would say it showed me a lot of things about the world. I thought that the silver line great thing about Donald Trump's presidency was that he was able to help forge some alliances and solidarity and coalition with leftists and liberals. And shit, the Democratic Party and liberals showing that, you feel me, they cool with business as usual, and they prefer privilege and the status quo over everything else, no matter what, even so much that I can't even criticize another person because I think it's gonna jeopardize my privilege in the status quo or my company status quo. Like, that really has fissured a lot of those coalitions that was built. But I think that I partially blame the Democratic Party though, you feel me? And it's like, shit, I want the Democratic Party to do better, be better for yourselves, and it's just like, shit, I think that y'all fucked up the church's money. And for instance, I had to say it like that, but it's like, in 2020, y'all should go back and look at the archive and look at how many leftists understood the threat of Donald Trump, and how many of us helped rally for y'all, how many of us really made them videos. You feel me? When Donald Trump was talking about banning TikTok, and y'all said, hey, Gen Z millennials, we'll help save TikTok. Help vote for Joe Biden. Shit, we came through. So when we start using the same tool and vehicle, TikTok, to be critical of what y'all doing, and we got rallies and we got protests and y'all beating up students, and y'all, you feel me, we thinking about how this university and that university is invested in the murdering Palestinians, we like, damn. Now all of a sudden y'all want to ban TikTok. You feel me? On top of that, it's like Joe Biden, when he was running for president, I already had a beef like, hey, bro, so you gonna cannibalize your leftist, far left liberal support to try to appeal to moderates that already said fuck you in many different instances, and you cannibalizing, I'm gonna say 15%, 10% of the people that could possibly vote for you. Now, actually smaller than that. Shit, 7-8% of the middle, the moderate voters, the undecided people that you know gonna vote for sure. You cannibalize, man, 15-20% of the vote you could have had with liberals. I mean, with leftists, people that's like free Palestine, people that's like free Congo, free Sudan, and you said fuck y'all. I care more about appealing to them, so now I'm gonna act like George Bush in 2004. Now I'm gonna act like George Bush in 2004 and say drill, baby, drill, and say I want the most lethal military in the world. That's what Kamala Harris said in DNC, you know what I'm saying, speech. I was there, I seen it, I heard her say it. You know, and it's like, shit, folks gonna be mad when I say this, but internationally, it's like, hey, in many different instances, the Republican Party of 2004 will be very proud of the Democratic Party of 2024 because all they've done is just infuse neoliberal identity politics into, like, you know, pro-military, pro-drill, pro-American imperialism, and I'm saying, with a cool little face. George Bush should be very proud, you know what I'm saying? This shit, Kamala got a silk press and went to HBCU instead of going to, you know what I'm saying, A&M or whatever George Bush went to, or yeah, whatever they went to. It's like, hey, from a policy standpoint, when she started talking, you know, or for instance, like this, I got a podcast called Black History for Real, right? In this podcast, we did an episode about black senators, what we have to do, you know what I'm saying? And they got a research team for me, you know what I'm saying? So I already knew a little bit about Kamala Harris. What I learned, though, is that when she was in California, the death penalty was a big part of her policy, right? It was a big part of her platform. And, you know, when it comes to, like, playing politics, and when I say shit, like, the reason why I don't see myself getting into it like that is, like, you really gotta, like, be willing to, like, compromise a lot of your values and a lot of your positions. So Kamala Harris was a staunch advocate against the death penalty. When she started climbing the rankings of California, she stopped talking about it. Not too long ago, the whole country was talking about what happened to Marcellus, you know what I'm saying, Khalifa Williams in Missouri, and how, you feel me, the DNA proved he was innocent. The parole board said it should be let go. Hell, the family of the victim said he didn't do it, and the prosecutor that convicted him said he didn't do it. But the governor and the Supreme Court of Missouri said, nah, don't give a fuck. We know that if Kamala Harris or Joe Biden would have stepped in and said something about what's going on with Marcellus could be saved. But when you playing politics, you trying to please so many different people, you trying to be strategic on who you gonna say fuck you to and who you gonna say I'm cool to. And shit, I believe like that was a great missed opportunity for the Biden-Harris administration to do the right thing, to be able to save this black man's life. But we ain't talk about that though, because shit, we think like, hey man, right now we got more important things to worry about. We gotta do an election. So shit, now we start doing shit the white folks taught me when I was a policy debater. Y'all did a utilitarian, you know what I'm saying? Utilitarian approach is like when you do the greatest good for the greatest most common or some shit like that, right? And y'all was like, man, we can't worry about Marcellus. That's just one person. Y'all worried about the election. So Marcellus now is dead. That's crazy, right? But when when too many people critical about Kamala Harris and how she has switched her positionality and her visibility when it comes to the death penalty. And how, hey, there are still black men right now, and black people in this time. Hey, you know what? There are people throughout the United States outside of race, gender, and class that's being, you feel me, unjustly, you feel me, put on death row and being, you know what I'm saying, shit, laid to death. But there's also disproportionately black people that's doing that, right? And it's just like, shit, that's what happened, man. And it's just like, shit. People now being like, because the top of the ballot, top of the ticket so fucked up, I don't care about what's going on with the other ballot. It's like, listen, the Supreme Court, you had the ability to impact that on the state level through voting. And listen, I want to be clear, man. I'm not one of them guys that's like, we gotta vote and voting is the end all be all. I think voting is one of the many tools you got to mitigate the harm in your life. I really believe it's all about grassroots organizing. I really believe it's all about, you know what I'm saying, being able to get involved with those people on the boots on the ground that's actually trying to impact the political, social, material reality of people that's really locally, you know what I'm saying? But I know that how those policies is curated impacts how we resist, how we organize. how we advocate. You know what I'm saying? And as a to me, it's like, if you an activist, if you an organizer, if you somebody that's talking about, you feel me, always going against, you feel me, the system, think about who you rather benefit, who you rather rally against, who you rather fight against. I'd rather fight against Kamala Harris. I'd rather fight against Kamala Harris. You feel me? As I said in 2020, I think that shit, in 2020, I was like, shit, I think Joe Biden is better than Donald Trump. But shit, go check the records. I ain't been quiet at all about being critical on Joe Biden. Or saying it to his face. Matter of fact, I had the honor of being invited to the White House to the first annual content creator party for the State of the Union address. He had Tyree Nichols' daddy in that mug, and was talking about what happened to Tyree Nichols. In the same speech, he talked about protecting the police and making sure boy, that shit made me so mad, nigga. I'm inside the White House, made the video with my suit on, dashiki tie and everything, and literally told Joe Biden to his face, or in his house, I do not like how you talked about Tyree Nichols. I don't like how you use his death and suffering as a fungible object to be able to placate, talking about I said that in the White House, and then proceeded to go meet Joe Biden after I said that shit. You feel me? When I go to the White House, or when I'm in the DNC, or when I go to the DNC, I'm going to DC, I go anywhere, I'm going to these conferences and shit. When those organizers and politicians come to me, they know what they did when they deal with me. We're gonna deal with this guy. We know that he gonna be very loud and critical and talk shit about us, you know what I'm saying? Anytime he think we're doing wrong, no matter how much you think we're better than other people, he gonna do that. And shit, I know it's people that's gonna be like, man, listen, if you got critiques on them and criticism against them, then like, shit, why you still think they better than them? It's like, listen, man, shit, we gonna make how to say in debate, we're gonna make good the enemy of perfect. But also, it's like, shit, I understand the black experience in America, and the black experience in America is that we've never been given a politician that wanted to do anything about the black existence or black experience. We just had to pick the best, the best candidates that was able to mitigate how white supremacy hit our bodies. And most times we have to vote for actual white supremacy, thinking about how we gonna mitigate the violence of white supremacy. Think about that. As black people in America, we've been put in positions time after time after time after time again to vote for somebody that we know that's racist and has a history of being racism, because we hope that they're going to be able to mitigate the racial reality that we live in politically, socially, economically when it comes to dealing with racial violence. Whether it's through institutions and healthcare, whether it's through police brutality, whether it's through education, whether it's through access to banks, whether it's through home ownership, we experience racial violence. That's been our reality in this country since we've been in this country. So a lot of times when white liberals, or even some, white leftists, or even some black leftists, a lot of the young black leftists, it's like, hey, y'all engaged in imperial politics, and y'all telling this person right here that they should say fuck their grandma and fuck their sister and fuck everything, fuck police immunity, because genocide. It's like, hey, listen, genocide always bad. And I'm gonna advocate against genocide every instance I get. I'm gonna speak out for Palestinians and against what Israel doing every chance I get. But I'm not gonna say fuck my mama and my daddy and my community in the process. As a matter of fact, the reason why I know about Palestine the way I do is because of the ancestors that came before me. Huey P. Newton, Amari Baraka, Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X. They talked about how we should think globally and act locally, and how the black struggle is tied in through and through what happened to the Palestinians. So when I'm being critical of what's happening with the Palestinians, I don't see it as I'm throwing the baby out with the bathwater and saying fuck my people. But I do see it, I was like, nah, I ain't participating in this election at all, because shit, all of them got blood on their hands and all of them genocide. It's like, hey, every single one of these elections, every politician that you vote for, either they already got blood on their hands, or when they get put in that position, they finna get blood on their hands. You know what I'm saying? To me, it'd be like, shit, voting for a trash man and expecting them not to stink from doing their job. You feel me? We're gonna vote for a sanitary worker, and then we're gonna give, like, nah, like the nature of the job is dirty. You feel me? I'm not no vote blue no matter who. I live in Texas. You know what I'm saying? In Texas, I done learned there's some Democrats that's not even really Democrats. You feel me? They really moderate Republicans. They just live in a state like goddamn Texas, so they consider it Democrat, but they really moderate Republicans. And shit, when you go to the ballot booth and you looking at a race and it's a Republican against a Republican, you gotta make what you gotta do. I'm born and raised in Texas. I live in Texas right now. When I went and voted, I early voted, I had to vote, you feel me, for some Republicans down that ballot. You know what I'm saying? Like what? Talking about literally like shit. That's what like talking about you had to what? In Harris County, the railroad system trash. You can be having an appointment, get caught behind a train, your ass might be 20, 30 minutes late now because that train system don't run good. Metaphorically speaking, you know what I'm saying? Just throwing an example out here, you feel me? This might not be how it be, so you know what I'm saying? Just throwing an example. It might be 2 Republicans that's running for the position of being able to control the railroad system of Harris County. You now got to be able to look at their policies and think about what's best for you and being able to move around Houston, Harris County to be able to get to where you get to pick up your kids to feed your family. Both of them Republicans. Both of them is Ku Klux Klan, so I'm saying, aligned up with a Confederate flag toting supporters. I live in Texas. I'm not gonna be like, man, both of y'all, the Confederacy and the Ku Klux Klan support both of y'all, so fuck both of y'all. I don't give a damn how y'all run the railroad. That ain't smart to me. You feel me? Do I fuck with the KKK or the Confederate flag? No. But this person got a job to do. And this is what I got to choose from. You feel me? Whether I go to a restaurant or whether I go to you know what I'm saying, a fast food restaurant, I don't pick who doing the job. There are a lot of people that serve me that I disagree with their politics vehemently. But shit, they gonna do their job. You feel me? They gotta do their job. And that's what I understand about it sucks that the complexity of American politics make it where no matter how you move, you're gonna always be implicated in the system of capitalism and violence. And it don't mean where it's like, well, because I'm implicated, no matter what I do. Now you should still be very mindful of what you're doing and how you're doing it. But make no mistake, when what you're doing and how you're doing it is not outside of the system that we exist in. And I know tomorrow we're not finna free, like tomorrow what I want the world to be like is not gonna happen. I can advocate for it and fight for it. That's what I'm gonna do. But I'm also, while I'm doing it, I'm gonna eat and chew gum at the same time. I'm gonna figure out who the best to be in the office. You feel me? Colin Allred, seems like a cool dude. If I sit up there and talk to Colin Allred, he's the person that's running against Ted Cruz here in Texas. If I had a conversation with Colin Allred, I'm sure a lot of things would come up that I'm like, nah, I don't fuck with you, bro. You wild for that. Like you know what I'm saying? It's a person I don't like that. But hey, somebody gotta be, you know what I'm saying, shit, this position. Somebody gotta hold that position. And shit, at this point, I feel like anybody but Ted Cruz. So me voting for Colin Allred don't mean that if he come out and be like, Israel deserves to be able to do whatever it wants to do without no consequences and kill as many kids and children as they want to, insofar they saying in self-defense, then I'm gonna have issues with Colin. As a matter of fact, shit, I had issues with Colin. I got issues, you know what I'm saying? It's like shit. But it's like, hey, move out the way, Ted Cruz. And it's just like, this don't. I just really realized that in this world how we live in, man, we got. I learned in therapy that all or nothing mentality is a trauma response. And a lot of us are having trauma responses when it comes to this, like how we moving politically. And I just feel like I want us to free ourselves from it. You feel me? All or nothing. All or nothing, get it like shit, man. Listen, as somebody that's experienced poverty and hunger, shit, all or nothing ain't how you survive. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta take the bread and the crumbs and the cards you dealt with and try to turn that motherfucker into a loaf or try to get a better hand, but you gotta deal what you got. And what I know, I come from a family in a legacy of survivors. And it's like, shit, I know how to survive. I'm trying to get out of survive mode and get in thrive mode, like I said earlier in this live stream. But I'm trying to get in, you know what I'm saying? I know how to survive. And one thing I know when it comes to surviving, having a symbolic orientation towards your ego or towards, you feel me, particular things, it's not gonna help you survive. Lyndon B. Johnson was a goddamn racist. Lyndon B. Johnson was a self-proclaimed racist. Black folks had to vote for him. Actually, technically, you know what I'm saying? That nigga did. He was on the ballot, and that's how we got civil rights. The reason why black folks are able to vote because a racist gave us. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Lyndon B. Johnson is like, I ain't gonna say Lyndon B. Johnson good or Lyndon B. Johnson get a picture in my wall or some shit like that. Lyndon B. Johnson ain't invited to the cookout, but it's good that Lyndon B. Johnson passed the Civil Rights Act. LBJ passing and making it when niggas can vote. That's good. That's the reality that consciously is living in. This is all like not rehearsed. It's a live stream. I'm driving. It's some stream of thought, and really just thought like, man, listen. Representation politics, we got to get past that. At a time, they got to be more. We got to want more than that. But at the same time, don't just get caught up in your academic philosophical critique about representation politics, and don't forget that, hey man, bills still gonna be passed. Lobbyists and bureaucracy still gonna pay folks. Shit, APAC still got millions of dollars to move. They're gonna pay somebody to hold that position. Whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not. And it's just like, shit, what can we do? What laws can we change to make it where foreign governments don't have so much influence over our lives? That's a political question to me. You feel me? Right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my hometown. Right now, I'm in my hometown. I'm driving right now. I'm on East Side. You feel me? Shit. I'm knowing that when I get off this highway and I get in the hood, the road terrain finna change. Right now, I'm riding on paved roads. The closer I get to my daddy's house, the more my road gonna get bumpy. It's a political question to think about why on my side of town where I grew up in Bryan, we ain't had no really sidewalks. Our stoplights is hanging from wires and our roads ain't paved. It's a political question. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, even right now, the property taxes is gonna impact the education, you know what I'm saying, funding. So the property tax is low in the hood. So the education funding low in the hood. That's a political issue. That's a political question. Whether I like who run this shit in my city, they dictating how my kids and how my cousins and them live here. You feel me? Like, regardless of what I think about those politicians specifically, they are impacting how my family navigates this county, navigates this state. I'll be a fool to be like, I don't care about that. And be real with you, I was a fool for a long time and thought like voting didn't matter. For a long time, I thought voting didn't matter. Then I started thinking, shit, man, right now I'm finna go see my daddy. Pick up, you know what I'm saying, my daddy, my kids stayed up with their granddaddy last night. My dad's a convicted felon. As a convicted felon, he can't work jobs. He gotta drive trucks and be able to do his own thing, be an entrepreneur. You feel me? He can't live certain places. Donald Trump can run for the president of the United States as a convicted felon. That shit bothered me. You know? On top of that, in Bryan, Texas, where I'm born and raised, politically, how my daddy is seen as a convicted felon and my mama a convicted felon, this impact everything for them. What? Like, man, I can just keep on ranting on and on and on and on about this. But education is elevation. Shout out to everybody that stopped by this live stream. I really just wanted to just really get some shit out my chest. Maybe I'll keep this up, maybe I won't. I'm gonna post it for right now though, definitely. Education is elevation, man. Man, listen, get out there and vote though. I swear to God, get out there and vote. And don't just think about the sexy part of the ticket either. Think about the bottom of that too, man. Think about who running that county jail, who the superintendent. You feel me? Who the you know what I'm saying? Think about that. Think about that. Think about that city council. You know what I mean? Think about all that. Don't just think about the Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. I'm saying Donald Trump. It's more on that ballot than genocide. That's what I told them. You feel me? It's more on that ballot than genocide. I mean, genocide don't matter at all, but it's more. It's a lot on that ballot. It's a lot on that ballot. Shit, black genocide on that ballot. You know what I'm saying? Black people being, I guess I ain't gonna use the genocide like that. That's crazy. I ain't gonna say that. I want to redact that statement. I ain't gonna just metaphorically throw the word around genocide. But black people facing violence here too. You know what I'm saying? It's like shit. We got to be able to try to simultaneously get all these things. All these things. But yeah.